Hello, Guru Nation. Welcome to another episode of Random Musings from the Clinical Trials Guru. This is also going to go on YouTube. You see on the split screen, if you're listening on the podcast and you're curious, go to YouTube. I've got Victoria Welch. Victoria Welch is a CRA 1. She'll explain what that even means. Works for a small boutique CRO in Texas. And I'm really interested in hearing her story because she got this position with very little experience, very little previous experience in clinical research. And I'm always curious, first of all, people's stories, and then I like to get different perspectives. And with Victoria, I get to actually interview someone that works at a boutique CRO. I've only interviewed other CRAs from the big CROs. Right, so I own a boutique CRO, very, very small, and I also contract for another very small CRO. So it's nice to meet fellow CRAs in this field that are kind of in the same position as I am. So Victoria, thank you very much for coming on. It's an honor to be able to interview you after checking out your LinkedIn profile and hearing a little bit of your story in the emails we had back and forth. Thank you for coming on. How's everything?
Thank you, Dan. First off, I'd like to thank you for this opportunity. I mean, this is incredible, and I'm very happy to be here and to be able to tell my story. I feel like it's very powerful, and
I think so. And be ready for people to hit you up on LinkedIn, Instagram, if you do have a profile there. So yeah, people are going to reach out to you. So I appreciate it very much. So why don't we get into your origin stories? Who are you? Where did you grow up? What did you major in? All those things. And then we're going to lead up to clinical research.
All right. So my name is Victoria Welch. I grew up in College Station, Texas. I went to school in Texas at a university at Tarleton State University. I originally went there to be a nurse and started taking some courses. I really liked science and chemistry. Went on to be pre-med. So I have a bachelor's in science and biomedical science.
Okay. We have similarities.
Yeah. I think I heard one of your podcasts where you said you're
pre-med, yeah.
Pre-med. So anyways, I wasn't going to go to med school at the end, and I started looking at different opportunities, right? Searching the web. It was my last month before I graduated, so I was seeking a job. And I wanted something that was going to be science-based and that I was interested in. And so I came across a CRA position, had no idea about clinical research.
Wait, during college?
Yeah, I was just the possibilities of what I could do with my degree.
So you were looking it up online?
Well, I was just searching the web for different jobs.
I see. Okay, during college.
Yes, correct.
That's interesting. Okay. Wow. So you discovered it early on.
Yes, correct. And I find that pretty interesting because a lot of people say they fell into it, right? I didn't necessarily fall into it. I mean, I guess you could say, no, I didn't. I just saw the job Googling, and I figured I did a little research about what a CRA is, right? A clinical research associate. And then I found CRO. And at this time, right, I had no previous knowledge because they don't necessarily teach you that in college.
No,
and I didn't
teach you that.
And it's a knit industry, I found. Once you're in, you're kind of in, depending on if it's a CRO or sponsor side. But so I knew I would need experience. And the only experience with research I had was working in a parasitology lab. And I took that experience and I sought out a program for clinical research. And I fell into clinical research fast track. So I enrolled into that program a month after graduating.
Wow, okay. When was this? What year was this?
This was, let's see, it was like May 2017. And I began the class at the end of June, at the beginning.
Okay.
And it was I I felt like for somebody with no prior knowledge, it was a very good course. I mean, it taught me why we have clinical research trials, the ICH GCP. I was introduced into that. And it was a pre-course. And then we met up for 8 days in Arizona, where there were different professionals in the industry who came and spoke to us about what their role was. And then a post course, and then it ran into an internship. And with that experience, so I had a 2-week internship at a site, and I
Was the site located near you somewhere?
Austin, in
Okay.
Austin, Texas. Yeah, so they did a variety of studies: paralysis, acne. So with
Okay, interesting.
yeah, it was interesting. Really good doctors. It was a really good site. It was smaller, so I was able to really shadow and see what a day would be like for a CRC.
Right. Yeah, see, these academy, I have an academy too, the CRA Academy. I'm actually shocked, Victoria, you didn't do mine, but we're okay. We're over that.
I know. I found out about yours once I got into LinkedIn. I don't know why.
Okay.
I just kind of grabbed the first thing I saw. I was
Yes.
desperate out of college, right? I was fired up. I mean, I was ready to start.
Yeah, I
And
think those guys do a good job of SEO. I've heard good things too, but we're ours is 3 months. It's online, and then there's an internship program, which is usually another 1 to 3 months, which is offline at a site near you. We have 2 interns here today in California. They come here for a week to start their internship, and then they go back to where they're located, and we have a site. Usually, we have a site near them. And it's $3,000. But those are the only 2 academies I know of. I've heard of others but they're like one-on-one tutoring. Haven't heard too many good things about those tutors, like the one-on-one guys. So I mean, those are really the two, I guess, big ones in the industry. Is Fast Track and then the CRA Academy. So either way, however you can get in, it doesn't matter if it's mine or another academy. The important thing is that you do something to get your foot in the door somewhere, like Victoria did, right? So, okay, walk me through. You did the program, you did the internship for 2 weeks. Then what happened? You started applying to like a bunch of places?
so at the before I started my internship, there was actually a man that came in. He was a professional resume writer and interviewer. So those are skill sets that I learned in this program too. I mean, that's one big thing. And when people do come to me and ask me, "Hey, how do I land this job? How did you do it?" You have to have an amazing resume. I mean, I feel like that's kind of where it starts.
Mm-hmm.
And I did a lot of things, just trying it out. I did a video resume.
You did a video resume?
Yes, that's the trick
Wow.
for everybody listening. I feel like that really, whether I got the job or not, I got.
What? Wait a minute. So that works in this industry? Is that something they taught you at Fast Track?
Yes.
Wow. So video resume. Do you still have that resume?
I do. It's on YouTube.
You
And
put
the
it on
reason
YouTube? Wow. I need to see this. I need
I
to
put
see
it on
this.
YouTube, and I may have put it on LinkedIn.
So you didn't have a paper resume or anything?
I did. I did. I had both. And so
Okay.
I just started to apply to a lot of jobs. And I applied to, actually on LinkedIn, I found an owner of a site here in College Station where I kind of wanted to move back to get experience. And he hired me. And so that's where I started.
Wow. So go figure, you used LinkedIn to network like
Correct.
I've been recommending since I started this video channel, before LinkedIn was even cool. Like we started talking about it in 2010. And lately, the last couple of years, LinkedIn has just blown up. Like that's like the biggest social network now, for professionals. It's kind of like Facebook as well. You could put videos. That is really interesting. So with your resume, like the traditional resume you had, and then like a video resume. Was this video more like a cover letter, or was it like a resume, or both? Like what did you say in the video? How long was it, and what did you say?
I tried to keep it fairly short. I believe it was like anywhere from 30 seconds to 45 seconds. I introduced myself, my educational background, my experience, and then my why, my what and my why for the resume. So,
Wow.
and what I was passionate about it. I would talk about that really in depth.
Interesting. Okay.
And
So,
the reason we were taught that was because nowadays a lot of people would be easier to click and to watch rather than to read.
it's
Kind of
interesting how the times have evolved, and you're probably one of the early ones, early adopters. Now I'm going to encourage my students, the ones that are comfortable getting on camera, to do like a 30-second video resume cover letter to add to their traditional CV. I think we'll incorporate that, so thank you.
I think that would be the way to go. Definitely use it as a cover letter. And I mean, it worked. And I got, although I wouldn't get an interview, a lot of people responded to it saying, wow, I've never received a video resume. So it shows a lot.
Wow. That is cool. I see. I learned new things too on this, by interviewing guests. I mean, I've heard of that being done in other industries. I just always assumed our industry was too traditional, but I guess it's starting to change in that regard as well.
Nah, yeah, evolving.
So how many resumes, how many people always think, okay, like here's, I'll break it down to you, Victoria. Typical students, or not even students, just people from YouTube. They say, hey, Dan, I've applied. I'm getting so frustrated. Okay, I've applied to so many places and no one's getting back to me. And then I ask them, okay, how do you define so many places? And they say 3. And I say, you need to add at least 2 zeros to that number, right?
At least, yes.
So how many did it take you?
For my CRC, not many.
Okay.
Like I said, I networked I found the owner of the site. So I think that's a key part in it too. It skips
Yes.
a lot of people and it shows
Wow.
initiative. Now for my CRA position, a lot.
A lot. So this was while you were CRC. So let's go back real quick. You just finished the internship. You're on LinkedIn. Let's get real practical for the people out there. Do you have LinkedIn Premium or the free version?
At the time, I had premium because I believe it was like when you first sign up, they give you a 30-day free trial
Okay.
or something. Yeah, so I did have
Okay.
premium.
Aha.
I was able to connect with a lot of people and message these people. But for a month, for somebody wanting to do it, you can go premium for a month and pay $50, and it's worth it.
It's worth it. Plus, you get that first month for free, right? So you get 2 months of free of premium, and you get 15 email credits per month, which roll over, which is really cool. I have LinkedIn Premium too for my CRO stuff, and I let them roll over. And when I need something, I just have 100 credits ready to go. I really like that aspect. But a lot of people, let's say they don't have $50. You can actually connect with someone, and then it lets you write a note, and you can write a note, and they'll still see it. So you can kind of get around having to pay for it.
Yes, I mean, you can do a lot of things. Just search, use the tools, the internet. I mean, Facebook, all the social medias. All you need to necessarily find is a name.
So you found this owner of this clinic.
Yeah.
What did you search in LinkedIn? Research sites and then your city, or what did you do?
Probably, I may have even went on Google and just searched clinical research sites or looking for clinical, where they're advertising for patients. You could find sites like that. And there's 2 here in College Station, which isn't a big city.
Right.
So it felt like it was meant to be. And I got hired right at the end of my internship. So within a week.
Perfect timing. How was what was the interview like? What was the setting? Who did it? How long? All those kind of things.
Yeah, it was pretty traditional. I sent in my resume, and then he was like, "Okay, let's set up." This is the owner of the site. He said, "Okay, let's set up an interview." I came in. It was his site manager and him, and we interviewed for about an hour, I would say, quite a while. Mm-hmm. And they asked a lot of things about myself, and they were very interested into the program that I had taken.
Okay, good. And then you worked there how long? How long did you work there?
I stayed there for about 6 months, and right before I took a chance. It was hard for me to kind of, when I was interviewing, when I left for CRA positions, why I left that job, but it was because I didn't have a lot of experience, so it was real risky. But I met these two people. They were a couple where they were senior CRAs, and they agreed to take me on and shadow, and I actually got to live with them. And
no kidding. So yes. While you're working at your site as a coordinator, you networked with the CRAs that came to the site?
I did, but I kept, while I was working as a coordinator, I was still networking, right? I knew I had goals, and I was trying to get to be a CRA faster. Everybody was telling me 2 years. And most of the applications say, you need 2 years of clinical research experience. And so I just had confidence in myself, right? While I was working as a coordinator, I did a lot of things. And not after getting out and listening to some of the podcasts and people you've interviewed, they've done a lot, right? And even the I work on, the coordinators, they have 10, 15 studies. I didn't have that many. But I was still working and studying the ICH-GCP. Just watching your podcast alone, I learned a lot.
Thank you.
So yeah, just continuing networking, and I got this opportunity, and I saved a little money, and I quit my job so I could pay for bills and work, because it was a volunteer, right? I didn't get paid when I was with these senior CRAs.
Wow. Okay, wait, break that down again, because people are going to try to copy what you did, and we need to get the details. Okay, so you took a huge gamble,
yes.
quit your job. I'm assuming no family? You
yeah, I'm a single woman, no children. Okay. I was living with my parents at the time too.
Okay. So this may not fit for everyone's strategy, but it worked for Victoria.
Well, I will tell you, after that after being with the senior CRAs for 2 months, I ran out of money. So, and I wasn't getting paid with them. It was a volunteer act.
Wow.
So I started busting tables while I was searching for a CRA position, which took 7 months. And it was difficult for me to do that.
You need to write a book, Victoria. What, you have to write a book about this. That would be like a huge seller for this genre, clinical research novel.
That would be pretty cool.
So how did you? Because CRAs don't even do this. Like CRAs don't. I mean, some of the big CROs have mentorship programs where you go shadow a CRA, but then you're getting paid, right? Or sometimes it's like a formal internship with the CRO where they'll have you shadow. You did this on your own. How did you even find these people?
It was a friend of a friend. After people heard that I was, my family members and my friends knew I was getting into clinical research, because I was an avid, advertiser. I went back and told my friends, hey, you need to get in this industry you had no idea about. Because a lot of my friends in the science in my graduating college class, they didn't know what they were going to do with their degree, even though they were pre-med.
Sure.
The only option they felt was medical school, and or go work in a hospital, laboratory tech, or what have you. And this industry I found was incredible. I mean, the opportunities for what you want to do, the positions, there's a lot.
It's endless. I mean, I was just talking to Dr. Irfan Khan yesterday. I mean, the opportunities are endless, even for physicians. Like for like once you're in, I feel like there's so many different pathways you can choose, and that's one of the reasons why we wrote our book, The Comprehensive Guide to Clinical Research, because it just gives you like kind of the lay of the land, and even that's not truly comprehensive. I mean, there's even more than that. You've got to dig deeper. We're just showing you where to dig. Now I'm curious. So these friends of friends that were CRAs, they were willing to take you on. We're not going to put their names out there. Were they like? Did they get approval to have you shadow, or they just kind of did it like low key?
Low key.
Low key. Hey, that's
I'm
whatever
honest,
works.
yeah, I mean it. Um, I know HIPAA.
Yeah,
I knew I would be reliable if it were me anyway.
sure.
So, and this was a wonderful opportunity. And how else to get the experience unless,
That
or,
works. One of my coordinators wants to be a CRO, a CRA. He works at one of my sites, and a sharp kid, Kobe. I've interviewed him on videos before. He shadows me when I go monitor, and that because he wants to do what you're doing, right? Get out there in the CRO world, and he actually wants to do consulting and all those kind of things. So, wow, hats off to you for thinking that way and using that strategy. I think you're the first person I've interviewed that has used that strategy. There's two things we picked up here: the video resume / cover letter, and then finding a way, beg, borrow, anything you can do to shadow somebody who knows what they're doing. Right. So now you're gonna have a bunch of people reaching out to you, Victoria. Let me shadow with you,
oh my goodness.
and you'll say no. You know what I say when people say that? Good job, keep it up. Now you need 100 more of me to ask that same question, because with me it's a
And
no.
yes, correct. Well, and after that, staying with the couple, it was hard, and they
And
told me it was going to be hard.
and you lived with them.
Yes.
That's crazy. Those people.
It was, and it was awkward too for me to go and do that. But I wanted it. I wanted to be a CRA.
So
I
you
wanted to break
traveled with
through.
them? Like you paid for your own ticket when they flew to a site? You went with
They,
them?
they really appreciated my initiative and how I was just volunteering my time. And I think they really appreciated me just learning from them. And they actually paid. I traveled once, and they paid for it.
Wow. Wow, this is amazing story, Victoria.
Well, I
We need to interview them.
they have a farm too, so I fed the animals, the chickens, the horses.
They
So I put my time.
they can do an Airbnb, learn how to be a research a CRA, and then sleep here.
They talked about it. They talked about setting up a school like you guys, CRA Academy. And
Wow. Where are they located?
I don't know if I should say that.
Okay. Texas?
Yeah, Texas.
Okay. So maybe we'll work something out with them. We have a lot of students in that area, and well, yeah, I'll be interested to talk with you off camera about that. But that's fascinating. How I never even thought that was a possibility, and after this interview, I see, hey, you know what? That actually it makes sense. Like you find someone to shadow with that you trust, that trust you. You give them some kind of value in return. In your case, taking care of their ranch, helping them with some of the more tedious things they were doing. I'm assuming invoices or trip reports, something like that, right? Like some administrative type of stuff, and getting your foot in the door. Amazing. And how long did you shadow with them for, approximately?
2 months. 2 months.
Okay.
And then, afterwards they would still work with me a little bit, just helping me prepare my resume. And when I would get an interview, I would call them and we'd kind of just review. They were kind of
No
my mentors
kidding.
per se.
These guys are amazing. I need to interview them or at least talk to them at some point. Okay, so then you started applying to CRA positions. And how did you position your CV at that point? Did you put the work you were doing shadowing wise, or what did you put like as your skills on your CV?
I put that I volunteered with the senior CRAs,
Okay.
and that we did a lot of mock um, exercises,
Okay.
um, and I would say things that have done on that, and what I had learned. Type. I can't
Wow.
remember exactly how I worded it, but it was in a way where it was a learning,
Yeah.
volunteering what I shadowed. It would
Amazing.
be just as if anybody were to go shadow, say, if they wanted to be a doctor, a pharmacist, or a nurse.
Yeah. I mean, apprenticeship. This is what Benjamin Franklin did when he started his before he started his printing press. He went to apprentice with his brother, I think it was. So this is not new stuff. It's just in research. This is a different application, which I didn't even realize is possible. But I guess people are doing this. Um, okay, so how many places? You said it was tougher, a lot tougher to get that CRA position than it was to get that CRC. So how many places did you apply, and how many interviews did you do? How many failed interviews? I want to know as much as you're willing to share.
Absolutely. So I can't tell you how many places I applied to because there were so many.
Like
Uh,
400? 400? More.
maybe more. I think I was more. It would probably be more. The I applied to more positions on LinkedIn, and it was an everyday occurrence. I would probably spend 4 hours, you
Wow.
know, just going down the list, applying. It was very simple to send it out, and I did that. And then there would be, and these were two positions I just didn't necessarily, I didn't fit the criteria,
Yeah.
but I still applied. And then the positions that I really felt that I would get or be fit for, I would put more effort into. Um,
Okay. Like
with the
customize a cover letter and all that.
correct, yeah, yes. And then there was a lot of them, like Glassdoor, just any kind of application with a job, where it was a job application on apps on my phone I used.
Wow.
hmm And then
Kudos.
if I wasn't getting bites from interviewers or recruiters or anything, I would change my resume up. And so I did a lot of that. I did a lot of revising to my resume before it actually got hits. And I learned things like, have keywords in your resume. A lot of people want to have a fancy resume or with big words. I feel like that just makes it harder to read, and your interviewer is going to look at it for 10 seconds,
Mm-hmm.
and it has to be interesting. You need to have personality, and that's when I really started getting callbacks and interviews.
And was this when you were doing the video resume also?
No, I didn't do that.
Okay.
Just because I was applying to so many. Uh, I don't know why I didn't do that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know why,
Okay.
but
But it
I
was.
feel
I
like if
mean.
I would have probably put more time into it, maybe,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
maybe it would have been easier, but it
And
was
how
just
long did it
so.
take? How long did it take you to get interviews? Like, when was? Do you remember your first interview, and then did that go well?
It was a rough time for me, right? Because I was busting tables, and I mean, it was kind of like at the first month, I had so much like confidence in myself, and that's a big key to keep, right? Just kind of having faith in yourself and your abilities and what you've learned thus far, and use that. And so I had a few interviews. I was started with on the phone, maybe the HR department, and they would determine whether I would move on, and I wouldn't get a.
Wow.
So I would recall what I, had said, because when I would interview, I'd obviously be writing it down, and I thought to myself, maybe I just, it takes practice interviewing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I would think about what I said, and the next time change it up, and so it just took trial and error.
Yeah, for me, I remember when I was applying to be a contract CRA, I had about around 10 interviews. And from those 10, and this is after I've had like maybe 8 years of experience already in research as a coordinator and as a site manager. So a lot of transferable skills. I only got 3 of those 10 offers. So that goes to show, and that was with like 8 years of experience already. So that goes to show, just like it's a numbers game, right? Like it's sometimes there's a better candidate or somebody they're looking for that's more qualified or checks more boxes than you. It really doesn't reflect on you. A lot of people take it personally when they get rejected, and you really shouldn't do that. You got to think, okay, there's probably like 20 other people that applied for this, and somebody probably checked more boxes than me. It doesn't mean I'm not good. It doesn't mean I'm not worthy of being a CRA. I think a lot of people get discouraged, and what you said about confidence is important. I think people should keep that and not lose it just because 2 interviews didn't go well, or they went well and they still didn't get the job.
When you start losing confidence, you start, it shows in your personality. People like excited people, so remember to smile and be excited.
I got to have you come on and teach week 12 of our CRA Academy, where everyone's just preparing for the final exam. I want you to come on, if you would like to, and give some confidence to the students every quarter. Can you do that?
Absolutely. I mean, without a doubt, I will be there.
Thank you so much. That would be amazing. We just started week 3 of my current class, so I'll definitely be in touch now. We're connected on Instagram, so we'll be in touch about that. So what are your future plans? Like, are you just gonna kind of like remain a CRA for a while? What are you seeing as other potential opportunities for you? Or are you just kind of like figuring it out right now?
So my dad's an entrepreneur, and a big one, I would say. And it's kind of just in my genes, right? It's in my how I was raised to be an entrepreneur. So I have goals. I've got big goals. I've got plans. But for now, the team I'm with now, the people I work with, I'm learning a lot. I want to keep learning from them. That way, when I do set out to maybe have my own CRO or what have you, be contract, I do want to work my way up, and I'm not sure, but I know that I want to grow, definitely.
Yeah, shout out to Dad for raising such an ambitious girl. I mean, I don't know anybody who did what you did. I'm sure there are others, but that's amazing. So your parents did a really good job raising you. What industries is your dad entrepreneur in?
Poultry science. So when you go to the grocery store and you buy chicken, those chickens are raised in commercial chicken houses, and he has a store. They build them.
Wow. Amazing. There's so many opportunities in this country. It's unbelievable.
Unbelievable. And you just got to take the bull by the horns and keep going.
Wow. Well, we definitely have to stay in touch, because now you got the entrepreneurial DNA. I need to remain connected with you, and we can maybe create some businesses or some opportunities in the future. So LinkedIn profile, Victoria Welch. You'll see the link underneath. We'll do part 2, part 3. We'll just follow you on your career, and then I guess LinkedIn, right? Like if people want to connect with you, LinkedIn.
Oh yeah, I am a big fan of LinkedIn, and for those of you listening who don't use LinkedIn, definitely utilize it. I mean,
Victoria's not kidding. She comments. I see her comments like everywhere on LinkedIn. It's amazing. Good job with that.
Thank you. It's my networking tool. I like to network with you guys.
Hats off to you for what you've done. It's no wonder why you are the exception to the 2 years or more experience before CRA. I mean, it's a no-brainer. If someone interviews you, they'll see, okay, this person's different. We can make an exception. Not everyone checks those boxes, so you've got to either become that person or just make up for it with more numbers, more volume, right? And then LinkedIn. People are not using LinkedIn properly. People are spamming too much on LinkedIn, and they're not actually networking with people. You wouldn't go to a party, interrupt someone's conversation, and say, "Here's my business card, call me." But that's what people do on LinkedIn. Like it's unbelievable how they think that can work. And so
Yes.
just study Victoria. Go to her profile, look at her activity, and just study what she's doing. All right, she's doing a really good job of that. Thank you very much, Victoria. Anything else you want to add as we wrap up?
Not necessarily. Just persevere. The more times you cast the rod, you're going to get more catches. So don't stop and persevere.
Yes, and thank you very much. This is our newest CRA Academy instructor. We already got you down for week 12, so everyone say hello to Victoria. If you want to see her live on a webinar every 3 months, the CRA Academy is the place to go. Thank you very much, Victoria. Amazing story. We got to keep following you on your career. We'll do more interviews. And the links will be underneath on the YouTube to her LinkedIn, and also on the podcast. It'll be in the show notes. Thank you very much. It was an honor interviewing you, and much success. You will have much success in this industry. I already know it. So we'll definitely stay in touch.
Absolutely, Dan. Thank you. It's been a privilege of mine, an honor to work with you.
Thank you very much, Victoria.
Be on your podcast.
Well, this is just the first. We're going to do so many more. People are going to get tired of us doing interviews. Thank you for watching, listening, and we'll catch you all later. Bye-bye.